Hey guys, this is a game between Bobby Fischer, the American chess world champion, former American chess world champion, and Ratmir Kholmov, a Russian chess grandmaster. Here we go. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, A6, Suri Lopez, Bishop A4, Knight F6, Castle, Bishop E7, Rook E1, B5, Bishop B3, Castle, C3, D6, H3, prophylactic move to discourage black from playing Bishop G4, Knight A5, Bishop C2, C5, D4, Queen C7, Knight B to D2, Knight C6, D takes C5, D takes C5, Knight F1, planning to maneuver either to E3, to G3, going to F5, Bishop E6, Knight E3, Rook A8, aiming to take the Queen, Queen E2, C4. Here, Fischer played Knight G5, but Knight F5 was a better move, and we'll see why. So after Knight G5, Kholmov played H6 and just let white get a doubled e-pawns. Knight takes, F takes E6. So there is a common understanding that we should avoid getting doubled pawns all the time because they are bad. And they are not always bad. In this position, black's doubled pawns control the critical squares such as F4, D4, F5, and E6. Note that black's E6 pawn keeps away the white knight from jumping to either F5 or D5. And black's rook also has this semi-open file. Okay, let's continue. And Fischer played B4. Mistake. And now Kholmov played this spectacular Knight D4 sacrifice. Okay, so what are white's choices? White can play Queen D1, but after Queen D1, then Knight B3, this discovered attack. Rook is attacking the Queen, and also the Knight is attacking the Rook. What about Queen F1? Now black has this move, Knight H5, threatening to trap the Queen on F1 because the pawn is pinned, on F2 is pinned. So after F3, if white plays King H2 to prevent black from playing Knight G3, then black has this Bishop H4 to pressure the F2 pawn, and black is winning. So after Knight H5, F3, Bishop H4, threatening to take the Rook, Rook D1, Knight G3, aiming to capture the Queen, Queen F2, and it's discovered attack, attacking the King, and Bishop is attacking the Queen at the same time. And for example, Queen goes there, on E1 is the same thing. Bishop now is going to capture the Queen, and white's King is unchecked. Okay, so after Knight D4, C takes D4, E takes D4, Bobby played A3, and now we have D3, forking the Queen and the Bishop. Bishop takes D3, Rook takes D3, Knight G4, King H7 to defend the pawn on H6 because white might sacrifice something, Bishop H6 or Knight H6 there. So E5, Knight takes G4, Queen E4 check, G6, Queen takes G4, and Rook F5, blocking the Queen from taking the E6 pawn. Queen E4, Queen D7, dominating the D file. Bishop E3, Queen D5, exchanging the queens because black has the advantage. He's a good bishop and he has a powerful C pawn, and this pawn is weak. So after Queen takes D5, Rook takes D5, F4, G5, what do you do? How do you deal with a pawn chain? You attack it on its base, and the f4 pawn is its base. g3, g takes f4, g takes f4, rook f8, king g2. I mean, after rook f8, black was planning to transfer its king to f5, a more active square for the black king. King g2, king g6, rook g1, rook d3, aiming to take the bishop, king f3 check, oops, king f5, rook g7, intending to take the bishop, bishop d8. Now black is planning to play bishop b6, because what do you do with a pin piece? You attack it, you keep on pressuring it. Rook b7, rook g8, rook b8, and rook g7. A great move to prevent the exchanges. And it's unpinning the black rook. a4, h5, a takes b5, a takes b5, rook takes b5, and now bishop h4, creating an outpost for black on g3. King e2, rook g2 check, king f1, rook h1, aiming to take the pawn on h3, and of course getting away from the king, because otherwise the king will take it on g2. King g1, rook e2, bishop b6, c3, king f1, rook h2, and Bobby Fischer reside here. Black's plan is to push the c-pawn to c2, followed by rook d1. Alright, so what did we learn from this game? Doubled pawns are not always bad. In this game, black's doubled pawns control the critical squares such as f4, d4, f5, and e6. Note that black's e6 pawn keeps away the white's knight from jumping to f5 or d5. Also, black's rook on f8 earned a semi-open f-file. Attack the pawn chain on its base, and utilize excellent outposts for your piece. In this example, black's rook and king on f5, rook on d3, etc. Do not forget to press like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and share this to your friends. And you can also review this game at the lichess.org link that I posted below the video. Thank you for watching, and please come again for the next show.